You are not living. You are existing in a state of comfortable unconsciousness that feels safe but is slowly consuming the life you were meant to live. You wake up. You go through the motions. You scroll. You work. You distract yourself. You sleep, and the next day you repeat it all again. This is not rest. This is not peace. This is what Carl Jung would recognize as psychological death while the body still breathes. You are trapped in what I call the comfortable coma, and until you understand what is keeping you there, you will never wake up. Listen to me carefully. The comfortable coma is not about laziness. It is not about lacking ambition or motivation. It is about something far more insidious. It is about living in a state where your psyche has gone to sleep while your persona continues performing. You are stuck because you have convinced yourself that being stuck is acceptable as long as it does not hurt too much. You have negotiated with your own potential. You have settled for a life that requires nothing from you, challenges nothing within you, and reveals nothing about who you actually are beneath the roles you play. Jung understood that most people live their entire lives without ever waking up to themselves. They spend decades in careers they tolerate but do not love. They maintain relationships that provide comfort but not growth. They fill their time with activities that numb them but do not fulfill them. And they tell themselves this is maturity. This is responsibility. This is what it means to be realistic. But this is a lie. This is the voice of the comfortable coma speaking, and it will keep you sedated until you die if you let it. You are stuck because you are terrified of discomfort, not pain, not suffering, but the simple discomfort of facing yourself honestly and admitting that the life you are living is not the life you actually want. You are terrified of acknowledging that you have been sleepwalking, that you have been avoiding the hard questions, that you have been choosing safety over truth, comfort over growth, the familiar over the authentic. And this terror keeps you paralyzed. The comfortable coma operates through a brilliant psychological mechanism. It keeps you just satisfied enough that you do not rebel, but just dissatisfied enough that you never feel truly alive. You are not miserable enough to change, but you are not fulfilled enough to stop wondering if there is something more. This middle ground is where most people spend their entire existence, not suffering dramatically, not thriving courageously, just existing in a state of perpetual mediocrity that they have learned to call normal. Wake up. Look at your life right now. Look at how you spend your days. Look at what you prioritize. Look at what you avoid. Look at the patterns you repeat even though they do not serve you. Look at the dreams you have abandoned without ever admitting you abandoned them. Look at the person you have become and ask yourself honestly, is this who I actually am, or is this who I settled for being? Jung called this the confrontation with the shadow. It is the moment when you stop pretending, when you stop defending, when you stop hiding behind excuses and justifications and the comfortable narratives you have constructed to protect yourself from your own truth. And this confrontation is terrifying because it reveals how much time you have wasted, how many opportunities you have let pass, how many versions of yourself you have betrayed by choosing comfort over courage. But here is what you need to understand. The comfortable coma is not permanent. It is a choice you are making every single day, every time you hit snooze instead of getting up, every time you scroll instead of creating, every time you numb instead of feeling, every time you avoid instead of confronting, every time you settle instead of demanding more from yourself. You are choosing the coma. You are choosing to stay asleep. And you can choose differently starting right now. Waking up begins with disruption. You cannot transform your life while maintaining the same patterns that created your current condition. You cannot individuate while clinging to the comfortable routines that keep you unconscious. You must interrupt the cycle. You must create friction. You must introduce discomfort intentionally because discomfort is the only force strong enough to break the spell of the comfortable coma. Start with your mornings. The way you begin your day reveals everything about your psychological state. If you wake up and immediately reach for your phone, you are enacting psychological surrender. You are saying that your internal world is insufficient, that you need external input to feel real, that you cannot exist without stimulation. This is the comfortable coma speaking. It wants you distracted. It wants you numb. It wants you avoiding the silence where your real self waits to be acknowledged. Change this pattern. Wake up and sit in silence before you do anything else. Do not check your phone. Do not turn on the television. Do not fill the space with noise. Just sit. Breathe. Notice what arises. Notice the discomfort. Notice the urge to escape. Notice the voice that tells you this is a waste of time. That voice is the comfortable coma defending itself. It knows that silence is dangerous. It knows that in silence you begin to hear the truth you have been avoiding. Do this every single day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you can manage, but do it consistently. Because this practice is not about meditation. It is about learning to be with yourself without distraction. It is about building the psychological strength to face what is actually present instead of running from it. And as you do this, as you strengthen this capacity, you begin to wake up. Next, examine your relationships. The comfortable coma thrives in relationships where no one challenges you, where everyone enables your unconsciousness, where conflict is avoided and truth is sacrificed for peace. You surround yourself with people who will not disturb your sleep, who will not ask the hard questions, who will not hold you accountable, and this feels safe, but it is killing you. Jung taught that real relationships require psychological honesty. They require the willingness to see and be seen, to confront and be confronted, to grow together instead of stagnate together. If everyone in your life is comfortable with who you are right now, if no one is pushing you to become more, if no one is reflecting back to you the parts of yourself you are avoiding, then you are not in relationships. You are in arrangements designed to maintain your coma. Wake up by seeking discomfort in your connections. Have the conversations you have been avoiding. Tell the truth you have been hiding. Ask for what you actually need instead of settling for what is easy. And be willing to lose relationships that cannot survive your honesty. Because a relationship that requires you to stay asleep is not worth keeping. Look at your work. Most people spend the majority of their waking hours doing something that does not align with who they actually are. They tell themselves they have no choice. They have bills. They have responsibilities. They have obligations. And all of this is true. But it is also true that you are using these facts as permission to avoid the deeper question. What would I do if I were not afraid? The comfortable coma loves your job security. It loves your predictable income. It loves your familiar routine. Because all of these things keep you dependent. They keep you trapped. They keep you too afraid to take risks, to pursue what actually matters, to build the life you claim you want. And so you stay, year after year, telling yourself you will make a change later, when the time is right, when you have saved enough, when the conditions are perfect. But the time never comes, the conditions never align, and you remain stuck. Wake up by taking one small step toward the life you actually want. Not a dramatic leap, not a reckless abandonment of responsibility, but one small, honest step. Research the field you are curious about. Develop the skill you have been ignoring. Create the thing you have been postponing. Spend 1 hour this week doing something that aligns with your actual values instead of your fear. And then do it again next week, and the week after. Because transformation does not happen through grand gestures. It happens through consistent, courageous choices that compound over time. Examine your habits. The comfortable coma is maintained through unconscious patterns that keep you sedated. You scroll endlessly. You consume content that does not nourish you. You eat food that numbs you. You avoid exercise. You avoid solitude. You avoid anything that might force you to feel, to think, to confront the gap between who you are and who you could be. These habits are not random. They are defense mechanisms. They are the ways your psyche protects itself from the discomfort of waking up. Because waking up means facing what you have been avoiding. It means admitting that you are responsible for your condition. It means recognizing that you have been choosing this coma every single day. And that recognition is painful. But pain is not the enemy. Unconsciousness is the enemy. Stagnation is the enemy. Living a life that does not belong to you is the enemy. Wake up by replacing one destructive habit with one constructive practice. Just one. Do not try to change everything at once. Pick the pattern that is most obviously keeping you asleep and interrupt it. Replace scrolling with reading. Replace numbing with feeling. Replace avoiding with confronting. And notice what happens when you do. You will resist. The comfortable coma will fight back. It will tell you that you are being too hard on yourself, that you deserve rest, that change can wait, that this discomfort is unnecessary. Do not listen. This is the voice of your own psyche trying to keep you trapped. This is the shadow defending itself against integration. This is the persona resisting the truth of who you actually are. Jung believed that individuation requires suffering. Not unnecessary suffering, not self-punishment, but the conscious suffering that comes from choosing growth over comfort, truth over illusion, authenticity over performance. You must be willing to feel the discomfort of waking up. You must be willing to face what you have been avoiding. You must be willing to dismantle the comfortable life you have built if that life is not actually yours. This is not easy. This is not pleasant. This is not something you will want to do. but it is necessary, because the alternative is spending the rest of your life in the comfortable coma. And I promise you, the regret of a life unlived is far more painful than the discomfort of transformation. Wake up now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when the conditions are perfect. Now, because every day you remain asleep is a day you cannot get back. Every moment you spend in the comfortable coma is a moment stolen from the life you could be living. And time is not infinite. Your life is not infinite. You do not have forever to figure this out. Start today, sit in silence, have the hard conversation, take the small step. Interrupt the pattern, choose discomfort, choose truth. Choose consciousness, choose to wake up. And keep choosing it every single day until the comfortable coma no longer has any power over you. You are capable of more than you are currently living. You know this. Deep down beneath the defenses and the excuses and the comfortable narratives, you know that you are settling. You know that you are stuck. You know that you are asleep. And now you have a choice. You can continue as you are, or you can wake up. The decision is yours, but make it now, because your life is waiting for you on the other side of your willingness to change.